everyone to yell, hello! It would be awesome if we all just use them. Really important. And Ban Ki-moon, actually, on that note, has called for the UN Secretary General has called for a one-day summit on climate change here in September in New York. So that is why we're all coming together. It's the impetus for a movement-building moment. So I'll take a step back and say my name is Becca Economopoulos. I'm with the arts group called Alternative. I've been working with Rachel Stragus here, who's a full-time arts coordinator for this mobilization. And we launched the SPORATORIUM, which is this infrastructure that hopefully will carry us into the September mobilization and forward beyond that. Because we're conceptualizing these movement-building moments as moments in which we're developing infrastructure, relationships, our network, so that we can continue to be big, bad, and bold. Right? So there's a number of goals moving into this, and that was one thing that we wanted to surface, is that we're not just here to pull some shit off in September on a particular day. We're here to affect what our response to climate change looks like moving forward for the rest of our lives. Because it is something that's going to affect all of us and all future generations. And in fact, it already is. So I'm just going to start with a brief welcome and agenda review, and then I want to go around and do a round of introductions, and then toss it over to Rachel for the next part of the agenda. So Ban Ki-moon, one-day summit. It's at the end of UN week, which happens every September here. But it was kind of a sly move on his part, because he tacked on this special one-day summit, which was this unprecedented thing. It's only a handful of times in world history where the UN has spent a full day talking about a particular thing. And it's his way of kind of hijacking the world leaders who will be in town, where they will actively have to leave to skip this meeting, which would send a strong signal. So that doesn't necessarily mean they will be deputizing representatives, but there's a very good chance that this is world leaders meeting here. Thus, it's an opportunity. Groups locally across the city, nationally and internationally, have been viewing it as an opportunity for us to make a lot of noise, to be really, really visible, to hold our government accountable for obstructing climate action, to make visible a strong, beautiful, bold movement, right? So whether you care about the UN or not, there's still alignment there for us all to be doing something that isn't behind closed doors, but actually is out together loud. And so art plays a big role in that, in kind of affecting the cultural zeitgeist, and also in affecting how things feel in your experience of the city, right? And outreach and turnout and buzz building, right? And then what things look like during the day of a giant climate march, or during the week of a mobilization with other events happening. So the agenda tonight is, welcome, review agenda, intros. Then Rachel's going to do some political context and a calendar update, because there's already a bunch of things that are in the works this summer and in September. A quick piece on why art, what many folks have been discussing and having conversations about. What is the role of arts and culture in the context of mobilization or movement? And then we want to spend time going around the room hearing from folks who have things planned, or ways in which you're imagining you will bring your passions and skills and practice to this mobilization. So if there are any particular projects that are in motion, that's your time to let this room know about it. We'll be taking notes and we'll scribe it up here. If you need volunteers or collaborators or resources, that's a good thing to know. And then if you have an idea, but it's not going to get off the ground without other people, this is a good place to tease that, just to mention that and be like, hey, I want to meet with anybody who wants to go scuba diving in the East River with me. And then, maybe you can go find those people and connect. a kind of 20-minute go-around, just kind of mapping what's already happening or who's in the room and what people are already working on. And then after that, as a group, as a big group, we're going to break out into smaller groups. We have a proposal for 8 breakout groups that are topical, but we'll just do kind of a raise of hands and see if there's enough folks that are interested in those categories and kind of take it from there. You're welcome to eat food. Please pick up literature and posters as well. And the bathrooms are just right out there. So let's go ahead and do a quick round of introductions. Just your name and if you have some kind of affiliation or how you identify yourself. So really, okay. Preferred gender pronouns. Jargon alert. Why don't we start speaking?
Sure. My name's Rachel Schragus. I'm an artist and an art illustrator, and my preferred gender pronouns are she and her. And I'm working this summer on the team based at 350.org, coordinating fantastic creative minds like all of you to be involved in this kind of summit.
That's just good.
My name's Lily. I use she and her. I'm checking this out. I play brass music.
I'm Echo. Go by he or his. I am part of ARC 38, Autonomous Resilient Community 38, or the Occupy Farm, as well as Reclaim. And Reclaim has specifically an event we could put right before that one, which is the UN Big Data Challenge. And a number of us who met at the park through tech ops and other things are trying to put together a proposal. It's at the UN level. It also gives us something to rally behind.
So that's a perfect example of what you'll say at this part of the
Right.
agenda.
Sorry.
No. So right now, just like you're
Reclaim.
There you go.
I'm Morgan. I work with People's Puppets of Occupy Wall Street and also Josh Klopp's The Solutions Project, which I want to talk about later.
I'm Sarah, and I work as an environmental educator, and I run a garden program over at PS1D4 in Queens, and I'm she and her.
I'm Ellen, go by she and her. I was very inspired and excited about the RNC kind of general environmental interest, somewhat affiliated with OWS Environmental Solidarity here in San Francisco, anti-cracking, creative messaging.
Gail Buckland, I'm a guest curator at the Brooklyn Museum, and I teach at Cooper Union.
Raquel Deanda, she, her. I am a curator and an organizer and totally love working with artists and think this is a super rad project. Really glad to see everybody involved.
My name is Crystal Clarity. New York-based teaching artist, muralist, and illustrator. And I was invited to work on one of those posters that are back there. And we were proud to be part of this project that's developing.
Peace, y'all. My name is Sharon, or Sharon, if that's easier. I work with a national organization called the Rocket Society, who is a member of the Climate Justice Alliance. I go by she or her, and I'm based in California. That's really nice.
Christina,
She came from Greece. She had a thirst. Sorry. Okay.
My name is Stan. I am an organizer. I guess I'm interested in logistics.
I'm Rachel. I'm a visual artist. She.
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthew Friday, E&M, and I'm the graduate coordinator for the art department at SUNY New Paltz. I'm also a member of SPURS, which is a ecosystem and design consultancy group.
Hi, I'm Christina, she and her, and this is Judson. I'm Mother.
Gates, he or him was and I teach at King's College. And I did a little Occupy stuff, and it's great to see a lot of old common experience.
Hey y'all, I'm McNair. I'm starting Movement Bar and event space in Bushwick called Mayday. Super happy to be here.
Hey, my name is Faye. I work at an online magazine called Reality Sandwich. And I'm also a musician, and really happy to be here with necessary.
My name's Gan Golan. I'm an artist and organizer and the training director for Beautiful Trouble, which is a kind of creative toolbox for revolution.
Hey, name's David. I go by he and him. I'm an organizer. Interested in logistics too.
I'm Dan Shockley. I'm People's Puppets and various other things. Go by he and him.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I kind of hang out with People's Puppets a little bit. I've got some ties to faith-based networks also. And go by she and her.
I'm Eric. I'm with People's Puppets. We're going to be in the social inquiry on Better Pipeline, Same Energy. And I'm a photographer. And I would like to ask permission for you guys to be photographed for taking pictures of all these reunions to promote SPORATORIUM. And if anybody wants have a problem or don't want to be photographed, please let me know so I blur your faces. So that.
Hi, my name is Christian. I'm an artist. Checking this out. He or him is fine.
Alec, he or him. I work at the Labor Studies Center at Empire State College, and we're very interested in art as a form of expression and activism for our students, and the climate change issue.
I'm Barry. I'm also from the Van Arsdale Center for Labor Studies, and I'm also here because I'm coordinating a group called the Workers' Art Coalition.
I'm Sophie, and I'm with the Workers' Art Coalition. I'm a union carpenter with Local 157 and a gardener. And I'm just interested to hear everyone's ideas and maybe help out. Hopefully we can have people help us out.
My name is Silver. I'm with the Stop Shopping Gospel Choir.
I am Paolo. I am artist, and I taught to teens about climate change and activism and creative activism for 4 months, just last winter. And now I am doing a project about, I am investigating about carbon trading. That's quite interesting.
I am Jose Serrano McLean. I go by he or him. I'm associated with the Queens Museum, with Queens College, Trust Art, and have been increasingly interested in the Flushing Meadows Corona Park as a place of kind of new democracy. And yeah.
I'm Jim, he, him. I started something called the Aaron Burr Society. I'm an artist, and I also teach, and I know quite a few of you from Occupy. I know some of you from Occupy. And I'm continuing that on different levels, which we'll talk about later, I assume.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jay from Global Revolution. Identify he, she, him, other. You can, I'm usually streaming stuff for the channel, but we don't have any reception down here, so I'm just filming, and we'll post it online for like a later date. And like the gentleman said, if anyone has like issues with being broadcast, just let me know, and I'll like blow you out. And that's it.
I'm Harriet Feigenbaum. I'm an environmental artist. I've been creating environmental art since the 70s, and I'm basically here to listen and see what this is all about.
I'm Andrea Reynosa. I'm a sculptor, farmer, organizer based out of Narrowsburg, New York, and also go under Skydog Projects as kind of a collaborative name. And we're doing that since '02, and I'm here to just be engaged and participate with the group. And she, her, as a side note.
My name is Monica Locasio. She, her. I work with
technologists, roboticists, engineers to place them in the fine art context. Interested in data and that intersection of art and technology and what we might be able to do here.
My name is Lakshna. I'm a student here in New York City, and this summer I'm working with 350.org on communications and youth outreach for the march.
I'm Jason. I'm a student here in New York as well, and I'm studying educational theater. I'm really interested in improvisation.
Hey, my name is Jackson. I am a student at Colorado College, actually, and I'm working with Selekshna and a couple other students with 350.org in New York. I'm specifically working on student outreach, so connecting with different environmental and divestment groups within a sort of 8-hour radius of New York City driving so that we can get a lot of student involvement and just public environmental groups to the march and excited about it.
I'm Dan. I write and sometimes perform solo performance pieces. The one I did for Occupy was called How to Stop the Empire While Keeping Your Day Job. And I also have a radio podcast.
I'm for SPORATORIUM, located in New York. Shooter Her is fun. I'm a sound artist, former environmental educator. And just looking to get involved in what's happening.
My name is Garrett. I have been a labor organizer for quite a while, which is pretty awesome, but doesn't always go all the way in satisfying the need for creative action. So I know logistics better than probably I know the creative side, but I'm interested in both and would like to help in any way that I can.
My name is Patrick. I'm an activist with Occupy the Pipeline and Same Energy Project, and I'm interested in mostly also listening and also discussing communications, who we're communicating with, what we're communicating, why, all that. And I used to do that.
Hi, I'm Josh Manta, he, him. I am a composer, conductor, and I'm also a candidate for a state committee of the Green Party of Brooklyn, and working actively on the Howie Hoffman's for Governor campaign.
My name is Natalie. I'm a member of System Change, Not Climate Change, and I'm also an organizer for the NYC Climate Convergence, which is an event that will be happening around the time of the People's Climate March.
Hey, I'm Jamie. I'm also with System Change, Not Climate Change, and a teacher.
Hi, I'm Peter. I'm also with System Change, Not Climate Change. He, him, and just wow to listen to all the introductions I've heard so far and to be in a room with all these amazing people in front of me. And also planning for the NYC Climate Convergence, which will be the Saturday before the Sunday march.
I'm Donna Oblongata. I'm a theater artist and arts organizer. I'm based in Philly. And I'm also on the Arts and Culture Working Group for the 2015 Social Forum that's going to be happening in Philly.
I'm Patrick. I use he and him, and I'm an artist.
I'm Regina Cornwell. Her, she and her. I'm the curator of a project which has begun and it's covered around a year. It's called In Climate, Climate Change Solutions, Awareness, and Action, and it involves artists. We have worked with specialists in the area of climate change. And I also have done the Al Gore training for through climate through his project, and it prepares people to give talks to various groups. So if any of you know groups that with a lot of deniers, I'd be happy to address them.
If anyone didn't sign in, I'm just going to pass around a sign-in sheet.
Awesome. So while that's going around, there's lots of stuff on the boards. The next thing that we want to do is talk a little bit through some of the things that have happened so far in preparing for the summit, and then emphasis on
what we know is going to start to emerge in the next couple months. We could talk about this for a very long time and try to breeze through. And later on, if you have specific questions, please feel free to ask. So many groups have been talking about this event that has become called People's Climate March, but about the summit, the UN summit happening for months and months now. There's been kind of an international weekly call of large NGOs. There's a host committee in New York City of grassroots groups and faith groups and labor groups and student groups has been meeting weekly in New York City since about February. The Climate Justice Alliance, which is a national group of network of climate justice organizing grassroots groups, has been meeting for a long time. And Sharon, who is from Market Society, is a member of that group, is going to be here and talk more about that after I'm done for a minute. And so all these different groups have been like talking about what should we do, and shockingly, there's been a ton of confusion, right? And so we're in a moment of like, how do we get clear so we get to a moment where in September we're all together unified in the streets of New York City, right? That's the goal. Could sound simple, is not simple, surprisingly. Coming out of a long history in our country and globally of internal struggle to envision what we mean by the climate movement, right? How do we envision the problem of climate change in a way that understands all of the science and also is like embodied and real? And I think we could talk for the whole meeting too about the ways in which this is so complex and terrifying that it's hard to organize around, right? So all of us, I think at every table there's that is talking about the People's Climate March, there's a feeling that this isn't really so much about impacting the UN process. In some ways, it's an unprecedented moment. There's never been a summit quite like this before. Heads of state from all over the world are going to be there. But we really don't think that they're going to massively change course, right? We've seen that the UN is basically failing to address climate change. And we need to show that there's another kind of power that can address the problem. And that's like grassroots people's power, right? Thanks so much, Christian. So as we're moving towards the People's Climate March, the explicit goal is to build the movement that we need to show this power, to build the power. And it is not an event that's particularly about impacting the folks that we're protesting, right? It's a movement-oriented moment. And I find that personally really inspiring to be able to say that like the most important thing that we do in this moment is learn to work together in new ways. And if we do this right, the People's Climate March is just the beginning of something new. So I'm going to move through like the recent past and soon into the future. Just in the last couple of weeks, there's been more and more clarity about dates coming forward in the summer. We just got an official date from the NYPD that the march is going to be September 21st and not just 20th or 21st, which means now we can make all sorts of other kinds of decisions around that. Just this last week, the Climate Justice Alliance was meeting in New York City to envision what their contributions will be, and Sharon will talk more about that in a minute. And just this week, our first People's Climate March-oriented art project came to fruition, which is these awesome posters in the back that you should take tons and tons of, and also Crystal Claire is over there too. So you should congratulate her on that. Sorry, didn't make them use them. So to me, that feels like kind of a beginning of things getting real, right? We've got 3 months to make this into a watershed moment for the climate movement. In the next week, we're going to have another big change, which is that the website that exists, the People's Climate March website, is going to roll out a whole bunch of different features. And I think we've also been waiting a lot in the moment that we're in, where we're all pretty reliant on the internet, for that to be the way that we see how all these different tables connect to each other. So in the next week, there's going to be local hubs for all different cities in the region to connect with each other and start